Welcome back, my friends.
What it does, what it does,
what it does, what it does.
What it tres, what it quatorze. I speak French.
New Before Dawn podcast, episode 7.
Yes.
How are we feeling?
Good. How's your week?
Good. Spirits are high. Mental health is better.
I know. I don't mean it in that way, but why?
Are you sure you don't mean it in that way?
Why are your spirits high?
Well, first, because you're back.
Yes, I've been back.
Yeah, but I had to take a few days to
Right.
adjust.
You're like my cat. Every time, like if I leave for a week and then come back and then we just like go to the supermarket, he's like, oh my god, he's going again. He's never coming back.
Yeah.
But no, I'm back. I'm back and here to stay.
Yeah, so that's one thing. Then I've been doing something good for my mental health.
Okay.
I've been talking to other human beings.
Are they qualified? Do you pay them?
No, just talking to people.
I don't know if that's good for you.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
But look, it's working. It's working.
Okay. What are you talking about?
Just things like life and how they're doing. And then they say things that I don't really listen.
Yes.
But then I talk about myself and I'm very interested
As it should be.
when I'm talking about myself.
As it should be. This is not a mental health podcast, so please take everything with a grain of salt.
Or a grain of concerta or whatever the meds you guys are on.
I this week tried my first proper ice bath on the beach on 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yes, do tell.
Actually, I did the whole thing. I got invited by a friend. So you do this like breathing exercise. Mind you, I think 2 weeks before that, I was making fun of a friend because of this. I mean, I was teasing him. He's a specific friend, and you're not doing him right if you're not teasing him. And I think you know who I'm talking about. Shout out to Ali. Yeah, so someone invited me, so I went, and you start off by, you do some stretches on the beach, 6 a.m., it's beautiful. And then you do like a breathing exercise where I forgot how long it was, maybe 10, 15 minutes, but you take a really deep breath, like from your stomach and then chest, hold it. Actually, no, you don't hold it in the beginning. So you take a really deep breath and then exhale everything. And then it's a really quick rhythm. It's like a and when you have that much air coming in and coming out, you start feeling tingly everywhere. But I think the whole principle of, and then you hold your breath at the end and then you do it 5 times, like 5 circuits. I think the whole idea behind it anyways is to kind of push out bad air from your lungs. Because when we breathe, we don't fill our lungs completely. And this is kind of like it's like an oil change for your lungs. So that was nice. And you have to lay down for a bit because if you try to get up real quick, it's a doozy. But it was nice. And then you get in an ice bath. And I've done one of those like 10 seconds, 10, 20 seconds, and then you jump in the hot tub, like the quick transition. But I did 4 minutes in an ice bath.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah. I was on fire when it's surprised because your skin feels like it's burning once you come out. It's the first 30 seconds, 45, 50 maximum. That's when it's really hard. And then once you control your breathing, the guy is sitting there with you and he's like, just take a deep breath, hold, and then exhale slowly. And I don't know if you've been in really cold water before, but you start, your breathing is
like hyperventilating.
Yeah, basically, right? So he's like, yeah, exhale like slowly and in control. I'm like, okay. And I start exhaling. I'm like, hish. Yeah, but once I settled in, it was good. And the idea that it's supposed to help you with inflammation. And it did. I've actually felt really good for like 3 days. But then I went back to the way I sit and then everything came back. Yeah. But he's like, yeah, where do you feel the pain exactly? Because it's supposed to target inflation. It's supposed to target inflammation. So like if you have pain in your knee or in your back, like you'll feel more pain there. So he's like, yeah, where is it? I'm like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Everything hurts. He's like, okay. Are you okay? Yeah. He's like, do you have any blood circulation issue? I'm like, how am I supposed? I'm in an ice bath right now. I cannot answer any questions. First of all, and I don't know. I've never checked. Maybe.
So he's asking all these questions while you're inside.
Yeah. He's like, you want some coffee? I'm like, pour it in the tub. Yeah, it was good. I think
it's the first time.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it again. There was this guy that showed up, skipped the warm up because I think he's been there for a while. Because we also did like these nails that you stand on. It has a name. I don't know what it is, but basically you stand on nails, and it's because your legs have so many. I'm not an expert here, but basically your legs have so many nerve ends. Your legs are really sensitive, so you stand on them, and it's supposed to help with circulation and your chakra. I don't know. If it was all right. I tried it, but this guy comes, and there was 3 levels. There's like the easy one, a medium one, and a hard one. And I did the soft one. It was okay. I did the medium one for after like 20 seconds. I'm like, get me off this thing. Because getting on and off is really hard. Because once you're standing on it, you have like weight distribution.
Balance,
But then you try to get off. You're putting all your weight in one foot. Oh.
Yeah.
And this guy shows up, sits there on his phone, and then just stands on the hardest one, just chilling, and then jumps in the ice bath for 8 minutes. Like, wow. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
But you get there. That's the idea. I'm not trying to do 8 minutes. I'm a desert boy.
Oh, speaking of the season.
The season. Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they say winter is officially here, but it's still 40 degrees at 12 o'clock.
Well, today is actually the first official day of autumn.
Oh, is it today?
Today is the first day.
You should have brought a ribbon, man.
Yeah. The guys went to the desert last weekend. I didn't go. They went
pre-season.
They were like warm up, you know, testing the. I was gonna say waters.
Yeah.
So they went last weekend. I was just waiting for them to tell me if it's too hot. Do you need to use the AC? Because you don't.
I don't think anyone needs to tell you if it's too hot.
Yeah, but when they went at 6 a.m., to my surprise.
6 a.m.
Yeah, they were like, it's so good.
It's really nice. Even at the beach, it was super nice.
Exactly. My main thing was, did you have to use the AC?
Oh yeah, because you need to turn it off.
Ideally, you should. Yeah, you get better air circulation for the car. So yeah. As soon as they told me they were like, no AC, I was like, okay. Contact Ford. I'm like, yo, put my car in service. Prep it. It is time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's my thing. I don't think I'll get to the point where because we talked about this. You're like, oh, get a car, come to the desert.
No, you have a car.
Yeah, but my car doesn't go.
Get
like
a station, y'all.
Get a station. I am. I think I've thought about it a lot. Teslas are nice, but I don't like their.
But you're from Ras Ghema.
I'm from. First of all, there's many reasons. I'm from Ras Ghema. Elon Musk. And I want to be a Land Cruiser daddy.
Yes.
All these 3 things are in play.
Yeah.
And all of 3 of them are telling me, get a Land Cruiser. And I think that's where I'm in. I mean, I know it's bad for the environment, but so is Elon Musk. So it's a 50-50.
Also, you were about to go off. So let's talk about it. What do you mean by it's not for me? What's not for you?
Okay. Look, I like it.
Like, what are you talking about?
Dune bashing is there, like off-roading. I like it, but I think I have way too many things going on for me to invest in another activity. Especially one that the starter kit is buying a car.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm happy being passenger princess. Okay.
Yeah, you could be my passenger princess, fine. But like I always say to all my friends, if you're living in Dubai, if you're living anywhere in this region, just don't forget that you have easily top 2 best deserts in the world.
Shout out to
Liwa.
Shout out to the desert.
Yeah, so to make use of that if you can.
Yes.
And if you enjoy it. Anyway, so that was really good. I feel like we just had, what's that spinach dip with the tortilla chips?
Spinach dip with a
Is that what
tortilla chip. Yeah, it's just called a spinach
We just
dip.
had that.
Yes.
I would like to have now
Appetizer.
my steak with mashed potatoes.
Medium rare.
Diddy.
Yes. Yes. I feel like a lot of people, because it feels like we're at a time where we just need a constant scandal. Like if there's no one who is fighting for his life in the court of law, then we're not alive.
And the newest entertainer to entertain us
Yes.
is P. Diddy.
Yes.
Apparently they found like half a ton of
1,000 bottles.
half a ton of baby oil.
Yeah. I mean,
Diddy, if you ever
there-
hear this, you're one nasty man.
I mean, you have like Silvio Berlusconi, and if you don't know what this man has done, Google him. You have some freaks of nature that have existed from, the past 200 years. This is
Diddy's a freak of nature.
Diddy is a freak of nature, but the meme culture remains undefeated.
Oh yeah, forever,
yeah.
forever.
Good job, guys.
Yeah,
keep up the good work.
The memes are.
But this goes
unbeatable.
This goes back a really, really long time. I mean, if you've been into hip hop in general, you know about beef that goes back and forth. But the main central beef has always been with 50 Cent. 50 Cent has beef with everyone, but this one was a little bit more.
Yeah, it's been very. He's been very clear.
Yes.
50 has been very clear with the things that he has observed. Let's say about Diddy, things that he thought were hella disrespectful. For example, Diddy once told 50, like, "Hey, let me take you shopping," and this is after 50 made it.
Yeah,
50 was like, "What?"
What's crazy is that, do you remember a time where 50 Cent was the richest rapper?
Well,
between all of them?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, what do you mean?
Like, I heard those things, but I never looked into it.
There was a time where he was, from what I remember, he was like the first rapper to hit 100 million.
Okay.
And then when I was doing a little bit of research on this, he was sitting at his peak. He was sitting at 150 million, and Diddy was like third place. Was he even third place? No, it was Jay-Z and Eminem maybe. But yeah,
okay.
Jay-Z was third place, which is wild. But yeah, he was like at the top of his game, where you had Diddy saying, "I'll take you shopping."
Yeah.
But that wasn't it. There was so much beef. There was the whole Rick Ross situation, where the whole thing started actually with 50 Cent wanting, or they wanted him to sign for P Diddy's record, which is, what was it called then? Bad Boys. And then Bad Boy, whatever it is.
They're bad. That's what we know.
Yeah, Freaky Boys.
Freaky Boy Records.
And then
Nasty Boy Records.
And then
that's the name of this episode, by the way.
Nasty Boy Records.
Nasty Boy Records.
1,000 bottles. They redefined what it means to say 1,000 bottles on a song.
Yeah.
And yeah, so P Diddy basically blocked the entire deal. So they didn't sign 50. He thought, not good enough, even though he was popping off. And from that moment onwards, he took it personally. And then there was a beef with Rick Ross where, P Diddy signed Rick Ross and 50 was like, screw both of you.
Yeah.
And he had 50 Cent. This is insane. So 50 Cent took Rick Ross's baby mama and son to Floyd Mayweather's house and just took him out like on a day out, and Diddy was there. And that's where Diddy was like, okay, maybe this is a bit too weird. And then he sided with Rick Ross, and then the beef escalated from there.
Man, all I'm gonna say about this is that there are certain people who make it to a level where they feel like they are unbeatable. They feel like they cannot be touched, whether it's Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer is the guy from Man from U.N.C.L.E. I don't know if you've seen that film.
Yes, I have. But
the other guy, not Superman, the other guy.
Yeah. But what happened with him?
He's signed to Nasty Boy Records.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the A&R for Nasty Boy Records. Kevin Spacey.
Yes. The
CFO
of Nasty Records.
Yeah.
But you forgot like the I wouldn't call him. What would be the right term for Epstein?
Epstein is
he's the messiah.
He's the board of directors. He's the founder.
He's the founder, acting CEO.
Yes.
Well, he's not acting anymore.
Yeah.
What's the term they use nowadays? Because YouTube regulations and whatnot, they say he what was it?
Evaporated?
No, it's much better than that. It's he unlived himself.
He unlived?
Yeah.
He unlived himself?
He unlived himself. Unlived himself or unlived himself. One of the two. So that's where Diddy is right now. Which...
Yeah, by the way, what you mean is he's on suicide watch.
Yes, he's on unlifing watch.
Unlifing watch.
I already said the word now.
Yeah. And we'll mute it. Yeah, it's
fine. But basically, I feel like it's a bit different though, because with Epstein, the clientele were different.
But then again, we don't know who the clientele is over here. Apparently,
It's like music industry.
No. Apparently, like there's talks of like Barack Obama and
I don't know.
Oprah. I don't know who.
Oprah, for sure. Yo, we need to talk about Oprah.
Yeah,
everyone needs to talk because she's with everyone.
Yeah.
I feel
chairman,
like, I feel like the triangle they do for like a balanced diet. Like you start with your So she's I feel like she's at the top of that list. One day she's gonna be Freak Inc. I think like she's Freak Inc. Actually, she probably owns like the shell company
that owns Nasty Warriors.
That's where she is. I think that's where
she's majority shareholder.
She's majority shareholder.
So yeah, as I was saying, man, I feel like certain people they reach that level.
Yeah,
Armie Hammer, Kevin Spacey, all these guys that they feel like they are unbeatable, untouchable, and then start doing nasty things. For me, the thing is like, okay, if you're gonna do all those things, and it comes out in like in the limelight, it's revealed.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, okay, as bad as it was, at least it's come to an end now. Because you guys are being charged, taken to court, this and that.
Yes.
Okay, there's going to be an end to this. What bothers me is then when they come back, like this is my reincarnation.
Who has done that?
Kevin Spacey has done that. Armie Hammer has done that. Interviews and, well, they're trying to, They're trying to. They're gonna go and sit on interviews and talk about how, yes, I'm a changed man and this and that. No,
you got caught.
Yeah, and it's done. Look, I hope actually if y'all are out free, it's one of two things. Either you won the case on merit, or you paid people off or whatever it was, right? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you won the case on merit and you served your time, whatever it is, and you came out and you were trying to be a change man, this and that. Finish. Stop going into the same places that made you do certain things. And this is something that I want to speak to you about also. Like, when we spoke about being self-aware, I think it kind of ties into this. Obviously, that's at a much bigger scale, much more extreme scale of you not being self-aware.
Yeah.
But no matter how big or small the scale is, after you gain awareness of, I've been doing ABC, which is not okay, you can't be going back to those places that made you do those things. Because then you're just talking, because then you're all about the vibes.
I think it doesn't matter what the place is. These people are these people. So even if
that's harsh.
Yeah. I don't understand this whole you becoming successful. It's for some reason it's more prominent with YouTubers. But you become successful and you have two routes. Which is enjoy your life and your money and your fame, or just become a criminal. I don't know why so many people head in that direction. Are they just nasty from?
Yeah, look, that's why I'm saying no. Like, that's why I'm saying, because to me, the answer to that question is not that they're just nasty from their origins. That's not the answer to me. To me, it sounds more like, at least what I've heard and kind of observed as well, it sounds like it's the place, it's this industry, it's being around those people that turns you into this.
I mean, then you're not really surprised when you hear all this crazy talk about reptilians and stuff. Yeah. Because these people are, they live in a different world. Let's just put it that way.
So if you know you haven't dealt with it in a nice way, look at me trying to make it sound like so acceptable. If you know you've been nasty about it.
Yeah.
And then you come out and say, I've changed, yet you choose to stay around those people. Yeah, then number one, I don't think you've changed. Number two, I'm not trying to apply this analogy only on them, like extreme acts of nastiness. Even in general, in our daily lives, like the kind of things that we learn about ourselves when we're being self-aware that, I don't react well in this situation, or I don't do this. If you're actually coming down to the conclusion that I'm done with this, I want to change, then don't go back there.
Yeah. But then again, Jay-Z is very quiet. I say that because...
You're hitting me where it hurts.
I know, me too. I say that because...
Please, God, no. Please.
No, nothing come out yet. Yeah, there's nothing
I
out
hope
yet.
his work permit is not on Nasty Records.
Bro, this guy's on a leash anyway, so
Oh, please, God,
by
no.
leash. I mean by leash. I mean he is married to a very successful musician that has him on a leash. At least I suppose. My point is though, I feel like once you step one foot in that environment, especially at that level, and you're not Diddy himself, that's what Diddy did. Is he basically had cameras all over his house. So he was doing all this. Well, he literally. How do you, as a grown man, throw parties and call them the freakouts? That's wild. First of all. Second of all, he was basically putting cameras all over his house. So anyone who has been involved is either a freak. I mean, they're all freaks, but you're either like fully embracing the freakness, or you were there and you're like, hey, I'm gonna try this. Why not? One time, and that's it. There's evidence of you. That's it. There's no escaping this.
And there's no justification of like, oh, I was oblivious to the fact.
Yeah,
that,
there's no such thing.
No, because no way.
As soon as you walked into that mansion and you started slipping all over the place because the floor is not dry.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Cat Williams is now is coming back on the limelight because people thought he was crazy, but he has been talking like that for a long time. I think maybe more than 10 years ago when he was still doing stand-up. I think he's still doing stand-up, but like his older stuff that was really nice. He literally said, you know, you reach a level where you start going to these parties and then you realize these are not the type of parties you want to get into. And that's exactly what he was talking about. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So
that Cat Williams podcast with Shannon is legendary, man. I've watched it again very recently, and I think he said it best. Like, all truth shall be revealed. 2024 is the year. There's one statement that he makes in that. When they asked him, like, they were like, aren't you afraid of like speaking out against these things? Shannon was like, you keep talking about all these things. And he's like, no, the reason why I'm not afraid is because the devil cannot create. So there's nothing for me to be afraid of. And man, a lot of nastiness. Anyway, a lot of nastiness.
You know who I think is gonna be who holds the Ultra Gold membership
at Nasty Boy Records?
Yeah, has to be Leo.
Yo, Leo, yeah, for
Leonardo
sure.
DiCaprio is probably.
I think he's a guest to honor.
Like, you know how Emirates is to Arsenal?
Yeah. Like exclusive partnership. Yeah. I'm sure there's something like. We're just speculating. We're just talking shit. But
hey, man, his record is. He's weird. He is weird. Okay, as an actor, he's great, but like you have to admit his behavior is weird.
Yeah.
How are you like into? I mean, it's weird.
I know. Look, again, we're joking about these things.
Yes.
Hopefully, no more. Hopefully, we don't find these great legends in these industries that turn out to be nasty ass freaks. But if they do, if Leo does, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes. I'm not in the business of promoting podcasts on our podcast, but I've told you about this podcast called Evil Genius, the BBC podcast. I mean, they only do people who have passed away. For the people who don't know what that is, basically, it's a bunch of comedians, 3 of them sit down, and then they discuss a figure in history and bring up a bunch of facts about them and decide were they evil or were they genius, because you have to separate between the two. And I can't wait for them to do...
Diddy.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, so they give out 3 envelopes, right? And like 3 facts, and each guy would read one. And it's just like... It's probably going to be like envelope number 1. He got Tupac killed. Envelope number 2, he was freaky. Envelope number 3, he was extra freaky.
All true.
Anyways, that is what's happening. We follow for more.
Yeah.
Follow for more.
Yeah.
Press like and subscribe.
Do like and subscribe. I know a few people who watch these, they're like, oh, we like it. If you just hit the like button, it helps spread. So not an inch of or ounce of remorse I feel, no matter how much love and appreciation I have for that entire era. This guy is solidified nasty.
Yeah, I mean, I understand P. Diddy's seat at the table when it comes to hip hop, but at least for what I considered important to the culture. All right, fine. He's the reason why we had Biggie, sort of. But to me, I don't know. He's not enough of a relevance on the grand scheme of things.
I think to me he is. Today
he was a mover. He's always been a mover, but
yeah, but I really think he played a huge role in commercializing hip hop. I think he had a disgusting role.
Yeah, very disgusting.
Actually, a very disgusting role. Yeah. Anyway, enough of Diddy.
Enough for real.
Enough of this nasty ass man.
Enough.
Let's move on.
You know what else is I had enough of?
What else is you had enough of?
Posthumous releases.
Didn't we speak about this?
Yes, but I want to bring it back because someone is not listening to me.
Okay, who's not listening to you?
Someone.
Who?
Because they've released a Rich Homie Quan song.
But he just passed away, so I'm sure he had a few
tracks.
His
body's not even cold yet.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. Obviously, timing-wise, yes, unacceptable. I think last time your point was that why release things that the artist did not want to release.
Well, he didn't release it.
But maybe these were all lined up, no?
I don't know. Regardless,
how?
I mean, even if they were lined up, I mean, okay, if it was lined up, then he has decided to release them. But still, even if it was decided, I feel like maybe posthumous songs or albums that get released have the opposite effect on me, because usually when these albums drop, a lot of people always talk about, oh my God, this is so good. Can you imagine if he was still around and dropping more of this? For me, it does the opposite. I feel like if the person if it's released after he has passed away, it always feels like it wasn't intentional by him, and it just doesn't sound as good. It's a strange thing. I heard the song. Maybe it's just not a good song to begin with, but I heard it and I was like, no. He just died. Let the man be.
No, I feel you. I think emotions play a big role also in such a thing. It's very hard to objectively grade or analyze a song after someone has just passed away.
Yeah.
So I think that plays a role. So I think emotions play a big role in how you observe, how you consume music. I think also this is something that we're starting to but I feel like we're starting to apply more onto our music. Before Dawn, Spotify, Deezer, all them shits. Just as we spoke about, it's desert season. Winter season is also before dawn season. So we have a bunch of tracks lined up.
Yes.
And the one thing that we're trying to apply more and more now is that, see the point I made on emotions, how you feel affects how you consume a track. I think we're trying to make it more obvious. I think we're trying to make it more direct how we feel when we make these songs.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you not just had a big role in that, but I think it was a big transition for you as an individual, as an artist. Maybe because I see you so much in how you write music and this and that. I think it's a big shift in you trying to not so much as put boundaries around yourself, but kind of make it a lot tighter. Your point, your narrative, progression, all that.
Yeah, because it's very hard to be private and make music at the same time, unless you're a composer. Especially in hip hop, because you have to talk a lot, you have to share a lot, and that's something I always kind of had a hard time with.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you listen to any of the early music, I am talking about something so specific to me, but I code it with like so many layers of in metaphors or like in indirect ways. I speak about things that are so important to me and personal to me. And I've been slowly coming out of that shell and just trying to be a little bit more. I know I'm still not there at all, but heading in that direction.
I think you deserve more credit than you're giving yourself.
Just glazing each other right here.
No, I'm just, I see it, so I'm saying it.
Yeah.
One thing, by the way, on that point, yeah.
On the glazing?
Yes.
Okay.
I have been thinking about this. Mm-hmm. If you see something good, if you see something that you appreciate,
yes,
about anyone or anything, I have come to the realization that I should always say it.
Yes.
It's good to spread that kind of energy. And no one is gonna, majority of the people are not gonna take it in any sort of negative way. There are people, for example, I recently did a talent show at work.
Okay.
I was the judge of this talent show. And the people that were performing, there were things that I liked a lot. I was surprised with, because my expectations weren't that high. I don't know why, but my expectations weren't that high. And a few people surpassed those expectations. Obviously, there was a few things that they didn't do so well. The things that they did do well, when I was able to point them out in a very clear and direct way, I realized that that kind of energy, no matter how much you feel like, oh, you're just trying to cover up the mistakes with these sugar-coated compliments, I think it does good to people. I think if you feel it, say it. There's no harm in that. But back to the point that I was saying about making music more understandable, more consumable. You said that being a shy person, it's very difficult, being a private person.
Yes, because shy is...
that's not the word you used. Being a private person, it's much more difficult to make hip hop or rap tracks where the topic of conversation is something that's so personal. So why do you think it is that it's so coded in your earlier verses? Why is it so coded and layered? And have you given that any thought?
Yes, one part is the fact that I value my privacy. I'm not someone who likes to share information, not emotion. I do share emotion. Like I do have emotional connections with people because I'm not shy. It's a very big difference. I'm out there, but when it comes to my personal matters to me, it feels like a lot of times I just don't owe it to people. Like if it's my birthday, I don't want, for example, I know people who would be upset if you don't share their birthday on like Instagram story or something. I don't need that. If I'm going somewhere beautiful and you see lines of people trying to get their picture taken to make sure that everyone, look what I've done, look where I've came. I don't subscribe to that. It's not for me. When it comes to the music, so there's that part, and the other part is I grew up listening to like Eminem or Talib Kweli and these guys who weren't always direct. Part of their writing scheme or their skill, or what made them so good, was their ability to say something in like 5,000 different ways. So I used this value I have for my privacy as an excuse to be really, really good at writing in metaphors and writing indirect ways that makes it, in a way, more complicated. I was never into, if you're sad, just say you're sad in a song. It doesn't hit the same. Unless, some songs do. But then if you tell me, oh, the moon did not come up today, and that's your way of saying sad, I'm like, fire. That's absolute fire. So that's kind of I was amazed and like fascinated by that. So I just kept going in that direction.
Yeah, I agree. I think, obviously I know because I work with you, but I think also because you went through that phase of expressing sadness rather than saying, I'm upset. you would say the moon didn't come up today.
Yes.
I think you've earned and developed a skill set, which when you are to start writing in a more digestible, more understandable, more direct way, you already have an upper hand because you can make double, triple, quadruple entendres and so many different things, which may sound very simple.
Yeah. There's a big difference. Like you'd hear some artists who would say, you know, if he's trying to express sadness in a song, he would say, I am sad. And then you have someone who wouldn't necessarily say, the moon didn't come up today. They would still make it clear and understandable, but in such an artistic way. And it's like, that's kind of simple. That's when you reach a point where you've been able to conquer like the complexity of writing and then to dumb it down in a way, but still sounds heavy. That's like the sweet spot. That's where we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Trying to get to.
I'm reminded of an artist
Yes.
who says, I'm upset.
As soon as you said I'm upset, that's the first
And
thing
then
that
there
popped
is
in my mind.
another one
Yeah.
who says, I love when you got me out.
Yo, so the Kendrick, I was telling you before, the Kendrick subreddit is just insane. And that wasn't the most insane. So whatever we talked about earlier, that aside, for some reason, someone found it upon themselves to say, yo, what would be your, would you still be a Kendrick fan if he went on stage and he shat himself? And like he means literally, like literally shat himself. And the first comment on that was, when shit hit the fan, is you still a fan?
No. We're not gonna do this. No. So yeah. Anyway, P Diddy.
No, but seriously, it's crazy.
No.
These people are insane.
Man.
I love artists, I love musicians, but sometimes I'm amazed, I'm baffled by how invested people are in their personal lives, or they fantasize about what would Kendrick do if he came and he saw my living room like this? What do you mean? How? Why does that matter? Give me an album and go back do your own thing.
I swear, if
I would love to sit with him for a minute and talk about, like, you know, what's your thought process on like doing this or doing that music wise.
You sound like Jaden. Like, can we talk about the political and economical state of
For
the
real?
world?
Certain people, I would ask that question. But my point is like, do you think Kendrick likes Kinder Bueno?
Yeah, like the loyalty. Now, if
I don't
you
think
guys,
that's even loyalty.
If
That's
you guys
just-
think we're bad,
Yeah.
like there are some stands out
These
there.
people are waiting in line for the Kendrick freak shows to start.
Yeah, they're
They're ready to join.
Stands.
If Kendrick ever goes in that route,
Yeah,
they're gonna be
They'll
first in
like,
line.
have you seen that meme of when Kendrick says "hey" and they're like, "Oh, he said hey," which is like a hey because
Yeah,
it's HEY, which is hello, every young, all the youth. I don't know what.
Yeah.
The memes are hilarious, man.
There's a third person that we're not talking about who is very well connected to the one we don't speak of.
Coel.
No,
Oh,
Future.
yes. Did you listen?
Some of it, yes.
New Future album.
Yes, it's a mixtape. Is it a mixtape or an album?
I think it's a mixtape. It's
a
called
mixtape.
Mixtape Pluto, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
He, first of all, it is he's the first hip hop mixtape album that is solo to occupy Apple's like top 10. First of all,
Yes.
top 10, all of it. The funny part is that there's a song called I Miss My Dog or I Lost My Dog, one of the two. And rightfully so, there's a lot of speculation if that's about Drake.
Ah. I actually like that song. It's
Yeah.
a good song.
Just from the title alone.
I wasn't gonna speak about Future, but since you did bring him up,
Yes.
I need to go off a bit.
Go.
This new, when my hand goes up, you know I'm
Yes.
about to go off. This new trend that's there of, no, I need to like really set the foundation over here. People believe that the way forward is to break the mold. I'm not against that.
Yes.
I see the thought process. When you go and you try and break the mold, you need to see what is it that's going to push the envelope forward. Am I taking the culture forward? Am I taking the sound forward? Am I taking my craft forward? if I'm just gonna break the mold because I think that this is what causes progression in music, this is what makes me progressive as an artist. No, that's an illusion that you're creating for yourself and only you believe it. No one else believes it. The problem is when you are of the level or the status of Future and you start believing that. Because this new trend of I will go off beat, there is a thin line that you can cross and come back and cross and come back, and it sounds nice. There are, I think a good example of that is Baby Keem. Baby Keem goes offbeat in a very nice way. It's controlled. You can tell it's intentional offbeat. T Grizzly is not going intentionally offbeat. He doesn't know where's the kick in the snare. He doesn't know it. Okay. Future, you know where's the kick in the snare. If you don't stay on beat and it sounds, I don't mean to be offensive, but I don't think he is of that level of to do intentional offbeat music. That takes a lot of technical understanding. So when Future goes off beat, when he goes off scale, when he goes off pitch, this to me sounds like, let me break the mold because that's the trend. Everyone's breaking the mold, so let me break it also. Why are there so many songs off key on this album?
Because no one else notices except you.
That's my problem with it, which is that if I'm noticing it and because other artists are doing it, yeah, like upcoming artists, I can have a conversation with them as an equal. I can be like, this is what I observed. This is what I would advise. You want to take my advice, do it. You don't want to, don't do it.
Yeah.
The problem is, which is why I said, if someone of the status and level of Future does it,
yes.
The problem with that is that now everyone under you is all influenced because Future did it. So now this is the trend. Now I need to go off beat. This is what affects the top 10 or top 100 Spotify global. When you go listen, you're like, what is this garbage that is there? This is why when you have people like yesterday, we're talking to our boy Ayman, and he was like, old music was so much better.
Yeah.
I know a lot of music, a lot of appreciation for music is directly related to nostalgia. You hit my head right round, because you were going to prom and bumping that track.
For real, yeah.
I understand, appreciate, and respect that. I would love actually for my songs to be that connected to your life. I would love for you to look back to Before Dawn songs and be like, oh, I remember because of that. But that's not the only reason why people appreciate old music. A big reason is because also the music was crafted in a way where you could really art form by audience / consumer will never be analyzed. It will only be felt.
Yes.
When I say that you are off key, you're off pitch, this, the people are not going to analyze that and be like, oh, he's off key. But you can feel it. And that's my issue with it. That when someone of the level or the status of Future does it, then the 50,000 little rappers under you are all influenced and are all trying to do that now. When that happens, two problems with it. Your main agenda of pushing the envelope forward, you've completely gone against it because all these 50,000 little rappers are now trying to follow the one mistake that you made because they think that that's the new trend. They're trying to follow that and all go in the opposite direction. They're actually reversing the progression of music. So your agenda failed over there, right then and there. Number one. Number two, your caliber of the caliber of musician that you are starts to get questioned over and over again. And this is something that I take very personally because we have very, very few of these futures.
There's only one Future.
By that I mean that level of artistry is so rare. So for me, I would say, man, if our artists would stop, our like big names would stop that. Can you imagine if Future actually went into the direction of how can I bring new sounds into his subgenre?
That's an important point. That's what I was going to say. Future isn't a grand representation of hip hop. he is one of the pillars of hip hop at the moment. He's kind of carved himself as one of the pillars of modern hip hop. Therefore, whoever is going to listen to him and move with that sound, it's going to be his followers. By followers, I mean like his disciples. People are going in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have Kung Fu Kenny and all these other guys who are also pushing the envelope in a different direction, which in this instant, in your definition, the right direction. You have the people that are following him would push the envelope forward. So it's I guess in that case, if you look at it as not as a progression, as a step backwards, then it's a shame and it's a loss for the ones who are following him. But it's not a stain on all of hip hop now.
Now, you're absolutely right. Couple of things there. I think the only correct direction is forward. If you are to do this within any subgenre that you're in, I think Eminem is in a very different subgenre than Kendrick. Very different subgenre of hip hop. No matter whether you like to listen to it, whether you play it in the car, but if you are, and that's his subgenre of that battle rap style of underground music that he does, Eminem, when he goes on his rapidy rap shit, it could be argued that he's objectively moving forward. You can, yes, Mr. Morale didn't do well commercially, but within that subgenre of conscious rap, you can argue that objectively it moved in the right, it moved forward. Within trap, which is to me the biggest chunk of the pie, maybe the second biggest chunk of the pie, after like pop rap, it's probably the second biggest chunk of the pie. What's bigger than
I'd
trap?
say it is. I would say it's the biggest.
I think, yeah.
Because even pop
rap is very trappy.
Yeah, it takes from...
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you have a point there. So in that, where you have the biggest chunk of the pie, it is super important that we move that subgenre forward. You had it done with Chief Keef. He came and truly moved it forward. Listen to trap, what it sounded like before Chief Keef and after Chief Keef, or even one of his tracks from back then. You can see clear progression that he moved it forward.
And that's wild that Chief Keef was the one to do it.
Yeah. I shouldn't even say this, the guy with one eye. Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap.
This guy, okay, consistency and everything is second, but clearly you listen to that song, I want my baby. I don't know, what's that called? Yeah. Yes. You listen to what trap was sounding like at that point, and then listen to what he brought in. You can clearly see a progression. It wasn't being that melodic. He came in, Rich Homie Quan, all these guys came in. It's like, oh, okay, now we have like melodies in trap. Trap is melodic now. Designer, another person, by the way, also he's signed to Nasty Boy Records, by the way.
Yeah, but Designer is basically Future Light.
Yes.
He's an unpaid version.
I think value add was done though. My main point that I'm trying to say is that when you have the status of Future, and I'm not even trying to make it sound like status is the most important thing he has. In my opinion, the most important thing Future has is his craftsmanship. He's genuinely an artist. If you have that level of artistry matched with that level of fame / eyes on you and attention, if you were to put your head down and be like, okay, I need to move this forward, I think wonders would happen. And I think also, I had a similar conversation about JPEG Mafia with you. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason why I set high expectations and then keep getting disappointed is because I think I'm very envious. I'm very envious of the position that, and envious, I don't mean in a bad way. I don't know if it is a negative word, but I'm envious of.
There is a good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's competitive.
Yeah. I'm very envious of the attention and the stability that these guys have in their careers. Whether it's JPEG Mafia or Designer at one point or Future. You have all that stability to a point where there's nothing. That's where you should feel invulnerable. Instead of going and doing nasty boy record things where you feel like I cannot be touched. Double entendre. You should go and do these things in the studio where you be like, I cannot be touched. I think that's when we'll get music which is no longer listened to in the way of old music used to be so much better. I know that can't go away.
Yes. But see, at the same time, I know you're arguing a very technical part of the music because being on beat, being on key is a very technical aspect of it. Because liking or not liking music, thinking it's trash or thinking it's good is very subjective, right?
Yes.
I don't think there is one song or one artist in the world that we can all unanimously say, this is the best, we all love this song or we all love this artist. There's no such thing as that. And I know you're arguing a very technical part of it, but the same thing you see, let's say like in art, by art I mean like in sculptures or paintings, where someone says this breaks every fundamental rule in what we do in painting, but it finds a crowd and that crowd believes that is the way forward. It feels like, yeah, breaking the rule that way does move it forward. So I do agree with you to an extent that, yeah, some of these things like being on beat or being on key is fundamental, and breaking them does not mean you've done something new. It doesn't mean you've moved forward, with the exception of if you do it on purpose and intentionally once or twice in a song just to give it a little bit of a twist. Because when you do the whole song off beat, it just sounds like you don't know how to stay on beat.
Yeah.
But
I think
yes,
the key point, the key contributing factor is whether it is controlled or not.
But I know there's no way to back this up or prove the theory that, is it controlled throughout the whole thing is off beat on purpose? Is that controlled that way? Can you prove it that it is or isn't?
I could prove it to you, but I don't know if I could prove it generally, because 99% of the people won't understand what I'm saying. You would get it, but 99% of the people wouldn't get it. Burn that mixtape, burn that hard drive. That's off beat.
Yeah.
Skip 10 seconds, forward.
He's back on.
And find me where he goes off beat for a second. You won't.
Yes, but that's his style. Future is, I guess, he's always been on.
Future's always been on beat.
Yes.
Future's always been in key.
I guess, look, we wouldn't know if he did it intentional or not. And like I said, because the whole thing is done.
I'm not saying intentional or not. That's not my changing thing. I'm saying controlled.
Yes, but intentional, like if he's doing it intentionally, then he has control over it. Like
no, you could do it in an uncontrollable manner and intentionally make it uncontrollable.
Bro, it is as difficult to stay off beat the whole song as it is to stay on beat. Like, because logically, like at least when I do it, I write, your bar should end or, it doesn't necessarily end or start, but you hear it. There's a rhythm there. Like, you know, when you write, you're following the metronome.
You're proving my point. It's so difficult.
But then okay, it's so difficult to be off beat the whole time when you hear that.
Yes.
Is he doing the whole thing like a cappella and then they just throwing it?
Now here's the thing. It's so difficult to be off beat because you are someone who writes in a very controlled way and performs in a very controlled way. In majority of your aspects,
pipe down.
Except there's a couple of things where it's not that controlled.
Yeah.
But majority, if we're to look technically speaking, majority of the things are under control.
Yes.
Now, if you were to introduce offbeat lines in your verse, I think naturally, subconsciously, without you knowing or not, you will try to do it in a controlled manner, because you will try to go offbeat and then come back at you again.
So it must be insanely, like, you have to be so skillful to just be offbeat the entire time.
No.
So there we go, 180. He's doing something that a lot of people can't do.
Just like in our lives.
Yes.
Going off track is not the hard thing. Coming back on is the hard part.
I guess you're right. I've been in situations where I've been off and then I don't hear why I'm off. And I'm like, why isn't it working for the rest of the song?
Yeah, because you're just consistently off. Coming back on is the hard part. So when you're saying to me, going off is so difficult, actually what you're telling me
No,
is
I didn't say going off. I said staying off.
staying off. Exactly. Because you know at one point you need to come back on.
Yes.
Now imagine you were singing, which is your pitch is something that's not, you don't do control, as many, no rapper does it controlling wise. Except Uncle Mathers.
Yes.
If we were to talk about just consistently staying off pitch and singing off pitch, I promise you could do it, and I would keep pointing out to you 100 times, Abud, you're off pitch, and you wouldn't see it.
So no one is pointing it out for him then. Unless find out who produces. Who's the studio engineer?
Who are are we back on engineers?
Yes. I'm eyeballing the camera. I mean, there's no other explanation. If he can't hear himself going off, the studio engineer should be there to pause and be like, yo, you're off beat.
You're right. Though I will say it's so difficult as an engineer, because I've been an engineer.
To understand what Future is saying.
No. To enforce something on an artist.
Yes, especially I guess at that level as well.
But nothing is releasing without Future's approval.
That's true.
So he did approve this.
Yes.
Speaking of Future.
Yes.
But like actual future.
Yes.
Of your life.
Yes. What remains of it?
I'm pretty, are you a superstitious person?
Am I superstitious? No.
No?
No. Why?
Before I get there.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on people that are superstitious?
Ah, shit.
What? It's not recording?
Yeah, but it feels a little bit out. Okay, it's okay. What are my thoughts? So it's fine, it's fine. What's your question?
What are your thoughts on people that are superstitious?
What are my thoughts on people who are superstitious? It depends on the level of superstition.
Okay.
Like if you drop some salt on the floor and be like, oh my days, I'm gonna die. That's a bit silly. But I think a little bit of superstition is healthy.
Explain.
I feel like it's a driving factor. Because unless you take everything as a bad omen, I don't think that's healthy for you. Like if you see a blood moon and you're like, oh shit, we're all doomed. You can't live in constant gloom. But then if you see certain things as signs that things are going well for you. Sorry. I shouldn't pick up. Hello? Hello. I'm good. Can I call you back? Yes, because we're recording.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yes.
If you see a blood moon, what?
Yeah. So as I was saying, if you see a blood moon and think you are gonna unlive, and it's the end every time you see a sign, that's not good for you. But if you see signs, if you see something and you take it as a sign that things are going in the right direction and it kind of motivates you and pushes you forward, yeah, it's good for you. It's good. I think, most of the time, when you're driven to do something great and out of your boundaries and out of your limits, normal limits, you're most of the time you're just delusional. So foreshadowing. Yeah. So yeah, most of the time you're delusional, and superstition in a way is kind of, it feeds that as well. So if you let's say start a company or you're making music and you, I don't know, wake up and the sun is shining on your face. Like, oh yes, this is a sign that things are going in the right direction, and it drives you to continue.
Yeah, I think I read this somewhere. I know this too, that us as humans, we're very, very good at reading patterns.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
We're also, our eyes, and I think our brains as well, are really good at finding things that are odd in a pattern. For example, if I put a bunch of pencils all facing this way, and then one of them is a bit off, if there's a million pencils, you'll see the one that's off right away. You'll catch it.
Do you know what that is?
No.
So, at least theory, as the theory goes, is that it's a survival mechanism. By that I mean, back in the early days, when everything was killing you and you had to fight for your life to survive, if the wind is blowing in a different way, or there's something unusual in the scenes that you see every day, means there's a change and there's a danger. There's a potential danger. Like, for example, if there's a bird that's always singing every morning when you get out of your cave back in the day, and that bird is not there anymore, and you don't hear the music, you don't hear animals moving, what does that mean? Maybe there's danger nearby. Maybe all these animals ran away because something is here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the whole idea behind it.
Got it. I think those patterns, 100%. Our brain catches them right away. So I think we're very quick on formulating patterns even. But we have that kind of like obsession with them almost. Having said that, I don't know if it is a superstition, but I feel like manifestation is a real thing. By that I mean, when you think good things, when you speak good things, I think good things, first of all, it will seem as though good things are happening around you. A part of me also believes that good things will happen around you. I read this somewhere, I heard this somewhere, that depression is you amplifying your problems to a stage where they're bigger than what they actually are. The quickest way to do that is to talk about them. Think about it. You speaking about your problems is literally making them bigger than they are.
Wait, I thought speaking about it helps.
If you're speaking about it all the time. I am so depressed because of my work life. I hate my manager. If you're consistently talking about this, really think about it. You're literally making the problem bigger than it is. Because what you hate about your manager is the way that he speaks to you, for example. He or she speaks to you. And this person speaks to you in a bad way 8 hours of the 24 hours day.
Yes.
Now, if you were speaking about it 16 hours a day, then you literally amplified it. You made it a real thing.
So I don't look at it as manifestation. People, it's a valid way to look at it. I feel like manifestation is a little bit dangerous sometimes, because sometimes you'd put yourself in a position that you're not in, that you're not ready for, just by believing you're in it, and that could put you in a lot of trouble. Like, fake it till you make it kind of situation can be dangerous sometimes. I don't look at it as a manifestation. I look at it as it's just healthy. The simplest way to put it is positive thinking. So
I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but manifestation is looked at as it's a different approach completely. Yes, it sounds the same thing, but it's not, because manifestation is you saying, I am a successful business owner, when you're not. And that it kind of gives you the drive, or it makes you behave like that person. And that eventually should get you to that position, right? Positive thinking, there's a better term for it, but I can't think about it right now. But positive thinking is different. In the same scenario, if you say, I hate my job, my manager is talking shit to me 8 hours a day. Changing the way you look at things really changes everything. So if your manager is just talking shit to you 8 hours a day, maybe he's having a hard, someone is talking shit about him for 8 hours a day. How can I make the situation better? Right? Because normally you'd think, he hates me. He just hates me. But there's probably a bigger underlying issue that you are not thinking about. So you're just stuck with that negative.
Yeah.
I didn't want to use the word negative energy, because I'm going to sound like one of those guys. Negative energy and auras. But yeah, you know what I mean?
So today you spoke about, what's it called? Chakras and standing on needles.
For real,
Now you talk about energy, manifestation. Who have you become?
Who have I become? But it's real.
Start making toxic music again.
Yes, I know. Look, honestly, the way I go about my life, I look at things in two ways. Whatever happens, do I have control over this? Yes or no? Yes. Well, let's go with no. No, if I don't have any control on what's going on, then how can I change how I look at this? Because let's say I'm at the airport and I miss my flight. I bought a fake ticket. I could just sit and sulk and just be like, I did this, I'm stupid. Oh, I missed my holiday. I need to buy another ticket. Option B is, okay, now I'm here. I missed it. Can I get a refund? But what's around in this town? Maybe I was in a transit flight and I stopped somewhere. I'm like, this place could be nice. Maybe we can change plans. What's the worst? We're still on holiday. We're still gonna go. That's one thing. If I have control over it, then just do the action. Let's say I lost my wallet. Sitting there and panicking is not going to help you. You're just inviting more negative energy doesn't help. I lost my wallet. What do? Yes, I have control over this. Get on my phone, block my card. There's no crisis whatsoever.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to deal with it.
Yeah, but it's not easy.
It's not easy, but
because I'm not saying I'm flawless. Emotions, negative energy still comes at you regardless.
Yeah. I think that is a good way of thinking about it. And yes, you've given it thought. I think naturally I'm the type of person who gives more thought into how to not get in that situation. But because I'm like that, after I get in it, I don't know what to do. Because all my energy has been gone into me not getting there. Yeah. And I think for you, not you, I won't point at you, but maybe people like that,
yeah,
they would know how to deal with it better, but they keep coming back in the same place. They keep ending up there over and over.
Well, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. And about worrying about being in that position in the first place, obviously, like, you take precaution. Like, let's say you're a victim of fraud, then you're aware of it next time. You know what to do to not be a victim of fraud again. There's also another element of it, which is I find no sense of worrying about something that hasn't happened. There's a chance of something happening, but it hasn't happened.
You're right, but I think what I'm trying to say is,
yes,
even if you apply this into our actual lives, you and I,
yes,
you are much more likely to lose your wallet than I am.
Losing my wallet and reacting to it is a whole different thing.
But that's the point I'm trying to make.
But yes, 100%. Maybe I should be a little bit more uptight.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm way less likely to lose my wallet than you.
Yes.
But after losing the wallet, you are more likely to deal with it better.
Yeah.
Than I am.
Because it happened a bunch of times.
And you have experience dealing with it.
Did you know I lost my wallet in the middle of the Norwegian tundra? Not tundra, but in the middle of the forest. It was a gift as well. So it was a nice Bottega wallet. And you're wearing like huge overalls, layers and layers. It's like minus 10 degrees to see the northern lights. Beautiful. And I was constantly like in and out of my pockets, and I think I dropped it. And it's the middle of nowhere. So it's buried. Well, it was probably not snowing there now, but it was just under the snow somewhere. And I felt pretty bad because it was a gift. Yeah. So on the way back to Dubai, I stopped in Milan. And I was in the airport and I got another one. I just pretended
like nothing ever happened. You never lost it.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's me. That's me. That is me. Actually, never. Okay, I'm lying. I actually told him. I told him what happened. Good. But see, that's me taking command. This is me taking action. Okay, this is what happened. This is the situation. What am I going to do? I looked everywhere. I went to the place, checked all the clothes. I couldn't go back to where I dropped it. So, hey, problem solved. Throw money at it.
I was just going to say,
I know. I can see it on your face.
You sound so privileged. You speaking from such a place of...
Look, it's a lot easier to deal with your problems when you can throw money at it. I understand, okay? But sometimes you don't need to use money.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. There's that.
Moving on.
We didn't wish happy birthday.
To me?
No.
And then who?
To J Electronica. Because I want to talk about J Electronica. Very briefly. What is J Electronica? Actually, look, I'm just, because I love hip hop, right? And sometimes I just don't understand what gives a person their place in hip hop, And J Electronica is one of them. I'm not saying his work is not amazing, but how is someone with that kind of output? Like, people make fun of Kendrick Lamar with his volume of music and, comparing to his status.
Was it last episode that we spoke about nepotism?
Yes.
I think Jay Electronica is the best example of that.
Really?
Dude, it's very, very sad for me to admit this, that the one thing in life that I love the most, which is music and this industry and all of that, is so independent on the quality of the creation that happens. Because I have heard some musicians that are actually broken. In gaming words, imba. They're imba.
In other words, even that are very, very good is what
Yes,
he means.
imbalanced. Yes, that's
Yes,
what I mean. They're so good. But then there are some people who, I'm not saying Jay Electronica, you said Jay Electronica. So some people like Jay Electronica.
I like Jay Electronica. I'm not saying I don't like it.
But to answer your question on what is it it's that arm around his shoulder, that cosign
Hove?
of Rock Nation,
Yes.
done.
Yeah, but it's
Sabrina,
still a business.
what's her name? Sabrina?
Carpenter.
Sabrina
yeah.
Carpenter?
Yes.
Last week we spoke, 2 weeks ago, we spoke about how Travis got
Yes.
rejected from life because Sabrina's
I know,
coming.
but this is just like, this is bizarre. This dude has dropped one album, one mixtape in 20 years, and people speak of him like, you know, the reincarnation of
I
hip hop.
think Jay Electronica is screaming.
He is screaming. We apologize. We don't live next to Diddy.
Yeah, these kids are just screaming because they're kids.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's a bit too far. Man. You know what came out?
Did he?
Yeah. Yes. Well, he's locked up. He's trying to go out on bail. And one of the things he's promising is to stay away from women. Okay.
Jeez.
It's weird. No, the Penguin.
Oh, by the way, we spoke about not to follow ratings, but it is rated hella high.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Colin Farrell.
Legend. Absolute legend.
All right. That's all. That's all I have to say.
Absolute fucking legend.
That's all I have to say. I feel like there's not enough of... he is appreciated.
He's
but
such
not
a good
enough.
actor.
But
Such
not
a good
enough.
actor.
Unbelievable range. I think the first movie I've ever seen him do was Phone Booth.
Ah, yeah, of course.
Unbelievable guy. Have you seen a movie called
Lobster?
The Banshee? Yeah, also there's that.
Yeah.
The Banshee? No, something Banshee. It's a movie with him and he's always him and this other guy. What's his name? He plays the guy with the funny eye in Harry Potter. The professor.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Don't remember his name. But they've done a bunch of movies together. They've done an older movie called In Bruges. Bruges is a town in Belgium. A really good movie. You'll enjoy it. And then they did this other Irish movie where they're in a small village and there's not a lot of people. And these two guys are best friends. They just hang out every day and there's nothing to do. So they're always at the pub having a drink. And one day, one of them, so you have Colin Farrell and he's a simple man in the movie. Like he has not much to talk about. And the other guy loves to write music and write novels. Like he's a bit more sophisticated, let's say. And then one day, that dude, the guy with the Harry Potter, decides, I don't want to speak to him anymore. I don't want to be friends anymore. So he goes to the pub. He doesn't see him. He goes to his house. He sees him there and he's like, listen, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Don't speak to me.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
What, you want to do that?
Before Don't Buy a Pick. I mean, I do have a crazy eye.
It'll be the same movie. We can't make the same
Wait,
movie.
so you'll be the guy who has not much to say?
Yeah, basically.
With your private life?
No, it's okay. Yes. But that's not what it is. It's basically the guy comes and he's like, you know, you came yesterday and you spoke to me for 2 hours about how your donkey, like his shit was a different color.
Okay.
You spoke to me about that
He
for 2 hours.
says this to Colin.
Yeah. He's like,
okay.
You spoke to me about,
So I don't want to be friends with you.
He's
no more.
like, this is what we talk about. Enough. I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
Okay.
And the whole movie is around that, where he's like, if you don't be friends with me again, I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh.
You have 24 hours. Like it's a dark comedy. It's great.
Okay.
So his progression, I feel like, was not noticed. There's a lot of good movies that were not there, and now The Penguin is one of those. It joined the category of one of his great movies. What a great guy. I hope he doesn't end up in the league.
Nasty Boy Records?
No, he's not gonna be. He doesn't seem to be the guy.
His character being changed in Fantastic Beasts to be played by Johnny Depp As much as I love Johnny Depp.
Wait, he was picked?
He was in the film, and then, I don't know if you remember, but at the end of the film,
Yes.
he shapeshifts and shows his true self
I don't
where
remember,
he's Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Hurtful to this day.
I'm ready to watch Penguin. I'm ready to watch
So you haven't seen it?
No, it's on HBO.
We don't get that here.
No, HBO. No,
Is it on
HBO.
OSN?
Disney or OSN? OSN. I'm not paying the money. Enough. I had enough.
But throw money at your problems, no?
That's true. That is true.
And Colin Farrell is going to solve your problems.
He would. You know,
Pause.
Wukong,
The
video
game?
yeah, has. I'm ready to start a revolution.
Okay.
I think I'm ready to boycott American media.
That I'm in support of.
Yes.
Let's do it. Stop
Yes.
listening to Jay-Z.
Okay.
Please, I want the biggest zoom on his face. Look into his eyes.
All right. What I mean is, these guys really know how to flood the market. By guys, I mean U.S. media in general, whether it's music, TV shows, or movies, games, you name it. These guys know how to flood the market. Obviously, there's a lot of good stuff and there's a lot of bad stuff. But then when you just have a look at, let's say, French, British, Korean, Japanese, Egyptian media, music, shows, bro, the level of execution and the quality of it is so high.
Yeah.
Shogun trashed the
Everything.
Emmys.
Yeah.
For a reason. Enough of your garbage. By garbage, I mean the US garbage. Give me more Shogun. Have you watched it?
No.
So good.
Yeah? A lot of people told me it's good.
Really good.
Okay. I think the what's it called? The capitalistic side of American media. Yeah, them, like, enough. Then again, I think we do avoid it as much as possible, no?
I don't know. I've been watching more British TV than I've been watching US TV recently. And the difference is huge. If you look at it this way, American TV shows, so many good shows that started off really well with a really good premise, and they just ruin it because they decide to do
Commercialize it.
35 seasons
Yeah.
to get as much money out of it as they can until it flops. English shows do not exceed 3 seasons. Maybe there's exceptions, but most English series are only 3 seasons. There's nothing you need to tell me more than 3 seasons long. They're so good.
You know, that's actually interesting it's interesting that you say that, because last time we spoke about this on artists as well, especially older artists. I feel like I'm so sensitive about what they're gonna say next, because it really impacts the way that their music is consumed.
Yes.
Or the narrative that happens to be around them, like, oh, he's old and grumpy, or, you know. So I agree. If you don't have anything to say, anything of value to say, just don't say anything. Don't give me 8 seasons of you not saying anything.
And on that note, no, I'm just kidding.
On that note, I have nothing valuable to say anymore.
Don't. If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything.
Yeah.
As we sit here on episode 7,
Yeah.
with plans for
Trashing people.
treasure people for like 250 episodes. As long as it takes, people. Listen in. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like that's me for the.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Next episode. Do you want to announce release date? We did already.
Yes, we did.
Do you want to announce the name of the song? Only for our
If you've
podcast
listened,
viewers. If you made it this far.
If you've made it this far, then you deserve a reward. And that reward is a new song by Before Dawn coming out on October 2nd. October 2nd. Just needed to double check. By the name of Different.
Hey.
Because we are different. You are different. We're all different. Don't listen to them. We love you.
We love you, and we'll see you on Spotify October 2nd. Until then, we'll see you on YouTube.
Also, if you've made it this far, as a personal request, write a comment. Tell me what you want to listen to. Mazen Khalil, if you're watching this, stop making fun of my pants. Like, my eyes are up here. I know you're all about the freakouts, but my eyes are up here.
Oh my God. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Other than that, yeah, leave a comment and tell me like what do you
Yes, like
who do you like
the video.
Let's start over. Who do you like more?
Who do you have?
Actually, my brother trashed me. Like, he just commented on one of them. He's like, yeah, a base is so funny. And I'm like, and?
Yeah.
And?
What about me?
And?
Yeah.
Real.
My brother's like that. My brother's more defensive of you. And he's like, why don't you don't let Abud speak? I'm like, I do let him speak. He's like, no, you should be nicer to him. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, man.
It is what it is.
All right.
See you guys next week.
Peace.